Peace and love to the collective. It's your girl to the V, and I'm back with another one. I know y'all, it's been like 2 months since I last recorded a video, and shout out to everybody that have been reaching out to me asking me if I was gonna make more videos. Of course I was. But when you are on a divine mission, you are kind of like overseen by like some forces, and like I just go through these moments where I gotta push back a little bit, and in that moment of pushing back is really recalibration, because there's something within me that I have to work through, to shed more light to my own darkness, to be able to come here and tell y'all my experience and share, how I transmuted that darkness to light. So, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Earth, _Earth Angel on TikTok, my YouTube, The Unconscious Conversations. And, I speak about my transition, what I've experienced, and, how I found out that I am God, and how, we are interconnected with everything that is, and everything that we were taught was a fucking lie. So, for the last 2 months, yo, listen, the last 2 months my ass was towed up out the frame, but in the way that it needed to be. How it was presented to me was like, this is the last chapter of your old self. And I was grieving. Oh my God, y'all. Ooh, I was crying. I felt like I was going through something, like some type of depression. I'm like, oh my gosh, maybe, I'm going through this because I just moved and I got these kids and we've been in the house and we've been doing this things, and I've been making them, all these different scenarios to keep me from facing the truth. And the truth was that, that I didn't still have some things that was really holding me down. And, it was time for me to really ascend, and to really step into my purpose, and what no longer served me could not go anymore. So for the last 2 months, like, I really been in the shadow period. And I remember laying on my bed a couple nights ago, and it said, the shadow period is over, step into your light. And I said, oh, game time. It's time to step back into that light. And I've been fluctuating, y'all, on the weight thing, because I've been learning so much about myself. I'm definitely an emotional eater. Okay, I definitely have to work on my discipline. There's definitely some things, that I have to work on within myself, so I won't attract that energy outside of me, and accept less outside of me. So definitely. But I do want to speak about the things that resurfaced in the major test that the universe gave me to see if I finally learned my motherfucking lesson. So, I spoke a lot about my darkness, and this video here, I am going to title it Coming Back to Self. I'm going to spend a little bit of time on the darkness, but now I know that I'm in the energy of teaching you how to transmute your darkness, so you can create a better outcome for yourself. So for the last 2 months, I did have to deal with that masculine wound. That masculine wound was, so big. It was so big, and, it showed me how significant it was, and how, that energy that I was in from sustaining, that wound from my father, from my brother, really played a significant role and impact on the life that I created for myself. And I had to deal with that. I had to deal with, listen, you tough like this because, the people that were supposed to protect you didn't protect you. And, you operate like this, and you not moving in your authentic self, your soft self, because you have like this defense mechanism to where you feel like you have to be tough, or you have to be this person to protect who you truly are. And I had to face that. And it got to the point where the universe actually made me face it in another person. And, this person that I was dealing with, I knew this person for 10 years, real brief. And, you couldn't tell me that this person wasn't going to be, with me, or me and this person wasn't going to be together. Long story short, I got back around the person. And I remember one night, very significant night, I was looking at this person, and I seen like their face was kind of like turning into, the men, and, the men that hurt me, in my life. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, why the fuck is this happening right now? And, at that moment I thought, hey, maybe I got to deal with this wound, and this person is showing me that, and that's what it was. But it was also telling me that, listen, you're attached to this type of energy because of that wound. God damn it, clock that T. Listen, it took me back to the root of it. And now I know that energy has been following me, because energetically I had something where people outside of me, like men outside of me, there'll be extremely lustful energy. In one of my videos, I do explain to you guys that I was molested, by my brother. And, when you are exposed to sexual activities very early on, you tend to be very over sexual. My life, my childhood was deprived from me. Like, I used to be the girl in imaginations, but then it did turn to the girl that, was overly sexual, and not in a way of like, I'm an HO, but in a way of, I produced a lot. And, when you learn your sacred energy, and when that's off balance, you know that you can create from that energy. I was procreating from a wounded place. And it just took me back to knowing that, this energy just followed me throughout my lifetime, and it was time for me to really, step back and know that that was a karmic cycle or a karmic cord, that was actually hindering me. So all I know is I was in a position to choose myself. I was in a position to choose myself officially, energetically. And, I had to cut off certain people. And it wasn't that bad to cut it off. I feel like for the most part, I was being, geared up or trained, emotionally and physically, moving to Florida and then separating from certain energies, to be able to say, okay, this is where, we no longer go. I do, release you with love, but, it's time for me to go on. And that's what I had to go through. Confirmation to just smack my feet in. But that's what I had to go through for the last 2 months. I released it. I chose myself. Oh, yes. So the universe tried to get me, tried to get me and tried to test me. And it tried to test me with my weakness, which was my weakness as my lower self. Because now I know the difference between higher self and lower self. Your higher self is always going to choose you. Your higher self is strictly love. When you're moving as your higher self, when you're high vibrational, you are of love. That's really what you are. You're moving from your heart space. So, it took, at that moment, it was like, okay, listen, this is a person that you swear you're going to be with. This is a person that you felt like, whatever with. And I was faced with this, and I said, hold on, wait. First of all, why is this so, intense? Why am I feeling so much? Why am I crying so much? Why do I really feel like this is a loss? And I really feel like this is the first time that I ever felt like this. And it came to me, I don't know how this camera is looking. Eventually, y'all gonna grow with me. I already told y'all that. Okay, listen, I'm with the synthetic wigs right now, but watch this video at 7:55. I'm gonna break that number down. That's a 7. Ooh, that's a 17. That's an 8. Boom. Oh yeah, abundance coming. Don't worry, y'all gonna grow with me. I'm gonna get yeah, y'all already know. But it put me in a position to choose myself. And that was probably the hardest thing for me to do, to choose myself, because it also taught me that my entire existence, I've never been true to myself. To choose yourself is love. To choose yourself is self-love. And when I tell you that when you really give yourself the love and you really choose yourself, you're really able to pour from an overfilled cup within you and to create and manifest the physical reality you want outside of you, baby. And it is really a beautiful thing. These last 2 months also taught me that there's nothing outside of yourself. Everything is a reflection in the mirror of you. And yes, I did know, but it taught me that on a different level. So that breakup was really me breaking up with my old self. That breakup was really me saying, you know what, I deserve better. And maybe I don't know what deserve. Maybe I really don't know what it is to deserve better, because I never really got better. You know what I'm saying? I never really experienced better from anybody. I always been the overpourer or the overgiver. But I know that, listen, I'm worth more than this. And once I really chose myself, I watched things really transition. I watched me really get my energy poured back into myself. I watched my soul really evolve. When the soul awakes, what the fuck am I talking about? When the soul awakes, okay? When the soul awakes, when the soul is calling, nothing that doesn't align with the soul can go. That is the higher self, the lower self. That is the duality. The law of the universe is the law of polarity. There's two. When you choose yourself is when you choose love. When you choose yourself is when you know that there's nothing outside of you that can make you love yourself or value yourself or give you that validation more than yourself. And when you embody that energy of love, the only thing you can do is attract it outside of you. The only thing you can do is fall in love in life. The only thing you can do is fall in love with your flaws. The only thing you can do is fall in love with the person that you was created to be, but you became another person because you learned a different way, and you just did the shit that you needed to do to find another way. All you can do is love the journey, and when you embody that love, baby, it manifests as the reality that you want, because love is the highest frequency on this rim, this electromagnetic field. If you're transmuting and outputting love, understand something. The universe is going to support you unconditionally. The universe, creation, God, whatever it is that you want to consider it as, you're connected to it. It responds to what you're feeling energetically. That's what it responds to. So the coming back to myself was really me allowing my higher self, my soul, to say, listen, I got this now. You know what I'm saying? The person that you was created to be, to survive, you could put her to rest. Let me do the things that I need to do to push you where it is that you need to go, because I know now. So coming back to self is really surrendering, really letting it flow, really stop trying to control the reality, right? Because your higher self knows when you've been conditioned and programmed to be the devil, to be the devil in your hell that you created for yourself. When you've been programmed to be the devil, right, in the hell that you created for yourself, it's going to take your spirit soul awaken to guide you different, or you will continuously create that hell for yourself. Okay? We have to open ourselves up to a knowing that we are bigger than this physical vessel. If we don't understand that, how can it form? How will you ever know? If you thinking that God is truly outside of you and there's something outside of you that's going to save you every time you fuck up, guess what? You're never going to take accountability. You're never going to take accountability. And understand something. You are not going to reach Christ consciousness unless you're energetically clear. Look at those energy centers that go up your body. It goes to the Christ consciousness. You know what I'm saying? That energy or that fluid, it has to move towards the Christ consciousness, to the pineal gland, to the crown. You know what I'm saying? So we have to move these energies, and giving your energy to something outside of you, thinking that something outside of you is going to save you. I'm telling you right now, ain't nothing outside of you going to save you, because I done experienced so much shit in my life. And God, listen, Creator, listen. If I got to deal with you when I see you, then that's what it's going to be. But right now, I'm going to take the position of knowing that I am God, co-creating with the Creator in my reality, and I'm the creator of my reality, because I remember the realest moments. I'm like, yo, why the fuck is this shit happening to me? I love everybody, and I never was saved from nobody until I started saving my motherfucking self. So don't come tell me nothing about Jesus is going to save you, because I know that ain't right. But once I embody the knowing that I am the Jesus, that I am the prophet, I am the motherfucking Messiah, I am the God, I am the expression of the Creator, I started to create my motherfucking reality, nigga. And I'm not saying that it's not a process, because it's many days that I battle with my mindset. It's many days. Oh yeah, I'm not saying that it's not a journey, but you gotta fall in love with the journey. Because when you fall in love with the journey, you get to fall in love with different experiences. You get to transmute that love and energy, and it's going to co-create with the universe and bring it back to you. It's not about the destination, it's about the journey. So I am home with myself, and I have allowed my higher self and my soul to awaken and to move me in a direction in which I need to be moved to ensure that I experience the highest version of me, because I deserve the luxury life. I deserve freedom. I deserve anything in this life that I want. And I don't have to feel ashamed of it. And I don't have to feel like money is a problem. And I don't have to feel like love is a burden. And I don't have to feel these things, because I am truly the co-creator of my reality. And that's what coming to yourself allows you to know that. Your divinity, right? Your sovereignty. You are pure consciousness experience itself. You are not this human body. This shit ain't nothing but a stage. You are here to be the observer of what the fuck is going on, not to be so consumed by it. But guess what though? We've been programmed. We've been programmed to operate a certain way. We've been programmed to believe a certain way. We've been programmed to believe a certain way. And I want to talk about belief for a minute, right? Because understand something, right? If you've been programmed to believe something, right? Right? Stick with me for a minute. Now, you was programmed to believe something. So when you go outside of that belief, you feel like you're not living in your truth. But what if what you think is true, which is the belief that you was taught to believe, ain't really fucking true? I say that to say this, right? Because I know that the matrix is emotionally driven, is emotionally energized. So I know that these people has taught you to believe certain things about yourself, certain things about diagnosis, certain things about different things. I don't want to go too much. I don't know what TikTok do, but I'm going to go where I need to go. And I don't know where YouTube go with it either, but I'm going to go where I need to go. You've been programmed to believe certain things that is going to play on your emotions. It's going to play on your energy. Energy is energy in motion, right? It's going to play off these things. So now if you go somewhere and they tell you, okay, you got this X, Y, and Z, guess what? You've been already programmed to believe the person in a white jacket. You've been programmed already to believe the judge. You've been programmed to believe that these authorities is higher than you and you are underneath them. So now you're already emotionally driven to think that these people are more supreme over you, right? So now you go and they say, okay, you got X, Y, and Z. Understand something, right? Because your mind is a fucking computer and a magnet. So now you done downloaded some shit that somebody told you. You got X, Y, and Z. Okay, now you done downloaded it. Now you done stored it in your subconscious mind. Your storage is your subconscious mind. Now, emotionally, they playing on you emotionally because they already programmed you with the belief to play on your ass emotionally. So now you're emotionally driving the motherfucking programming that has been programmed subconsciously, right? But I just told you that your belief and your emotions is what creates and manifests your physical reality. So you just physically created something that you probably really didn't have, but you think that you have because it's the fucking belief that you have. God damn it. That's where we going. That's where we going. That's where we going. All in all, this shit is fake. And when you get into the energy of knowing that this shit is fake and you oversee the physical body, you can alter this motherfucker. The problem is we use the physical body more the fuck than we should. When it ain't the physical body that really controls this motherfucker. It's the physical body that the motherfuckers outside of you control. But those motherfuckers can't control you if you're in your spirit, soul, energy, and knowing that you're fucking having a human experience and all of this shit is fake. Now my eyes is, now my motherfucking ears is hot. What? Look, y'all. Look, channeling like a motherfucker. Channeling. Listen, I'm back, baby. I'm back. We about to take it. We about to take it to war. Okay, we about to take it to war out here. We about to take it to war. Period. That's why I had to take that little 2 months. I'm gonna go sit down real quick, but I'm gonna recalibrate. And I'm gonna come back harder every time, because baby, listen. What? I'm ready to step into position as a new earth teacher, baby. We gonna transmute. It's gonna be so many. It's a whole lot of money in this month. What? We taking the shackles off our mindsets, off of the lack, off of the poverty, all of the shit that we've been programmed to believe. What if I told you slavery probably wasn't even true, but they're playing on you emotionally, thinking that you are a slave, and that shit got you so deeply embedded in creating a hell-like reality for yourself, or hating somebody opposite of your color. In actuality, you're fucking pure consciousness experiencing yourself, and I don't care what color you are, you all part of the collective consciousness. But they know if they keep you separated, we keep the earth vibrating low. Don't play with me right now. God damn it. Alright, y'all, I'm back. I'm gonna fall back. I'm gonna fall back because I know I start eating, I start shooting. Peace and love, y'all.